Hey, Margot, welcome out to Power Monkey 17. It's so fun to have you out here as a guest and enjoy all the fun stuff. We got people over there playing volleyball on some downtime. So we're going to get a little intro into your triple unders and see how those are looking, how they've been treating you. How you feeling these days? How's the body?
I feel good. I've been working a little bit since we worked in January, so I'm not as confident with my triple unders, but I know there's some things to work on in areas of improvement, so I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome, perfect. Well, so the good news is that we already spent time getting your rope sized. Like I think that's super key is getting your rope sized to fit your body so that you have like optimal spacing, passing overhead under toes, allows your hands to be in a good position right outside your hip crease, right? So those things are all already dialed in, already set. You know, sometimes when people are working triples, obviously they want to ramp up the rope speed a little bit more, right? So, you know, giving yourself a couple extra inches on your rope length is not a bad thing. You just don't want to overdo it just because, you know, you do want that tighter rope that gets around your body quicker, right? So we're trying to work smarter, not harder. And yeah, and you know, a lot of people, they just really go for ramping up the rope speed when really we want to focus on a bigger bound, more time in the air, and being a little more relaxed with our hands so we can control our hands, right? Okay. So I know when we worked back on these in January, you were having a little issue like most people do with just the hands wanting to pull back because you're trying so hard to get that rope through the feet rather than just try and, you know, find your hip crease and just get that nice little up and down motion, right? So we know that our goal is to get a little more elevation, focus on that, and then try and let your turnover be a little more relaxed, right? Okay, yeah. I know you've seen people, and you did it yourself, where when the focus is on just rotating the rope really fast, people don't go up. Yes. So they'll make one triple under, and then they run out of steam to do another, right? They can't get back up in the air. Yeah. So that's why we want to get in the air first and ease up on the rotation, yeah? So the other thing that we're going to practice is, and we talked about this in January, is your lead-in. Your lead-in should be very consistent, right? Yeah. So what a lot of people like to do is maybe two single unders, then two double unders, then they're triple. What did you find comfortable for you?
I found that if I do one single, one double, then go into triple, it's a little bit smoother. I'm not spending as much time jumping, but I can increase the pace so it's more of like an on-ramp up.
Yep.
Like an on-ramp to a highway.
Love it. I think that's even better actually just because it's just more condensed and you get right to it, right? And it's important to set like a nice repeatable pattern, right? So you're kind of just building like a good habit pattern, you know what I mean? So I think that'll be it. Let's warm up. You've already done some jumping to kind of get the body, you know, primed a little bit, but let's warm up some double unders. Let's just take a look at double unders and how those are feeling right now. Nice. I like your contact point. Wrists are locked in right at the hip crease. Beautiful. Relax. Does it feel pretty good?
Feels good.
Yeah, so that's excellent. So as we go for a triple under, obviously the objective is single under, higher double under, higher triple under, right? Really let your body rise and then worry about rotating second, right? So that it's more controlled. So just like when we teach a double under and all we really care is that you get one good double under and then we'll build on that when there's consistency. Yep. How about we just go for one triple under? Okay. Lead in the way you do it, do one triple under and see how it goes. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. And finish with a toe catch, right? That was awesome. That was beautiful. So what I love about that is that you didn't set too high of a bar, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to go for 3 or 5 or whatever. Yeah. You just went for 1 and you stayed perfectly in position, right? So that's so much easier to build off of that.
Wait,
so yeah. Yeah, that was great. How'd it feel to you?
It felt good. I felt like I was able to stay more upright, where in the past I feel like I really tuck my knees and almost bring my knees up and hinge my hips, which I know I don't want to do.
Right.
So it felt better to be more upright and actually have that toe catch. I was like, wow, that felt really good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about the you know, picking the feet up a little bit. Okay. That's kind of a double-edged sword because it's not a horrible thing to do, right? Some people can have success doing that by having just a little slight knee tuck in the air, okay. But only people who are really good at getting back to full extension for that next rebound. That's where most people lose it, is that they don't get back to extension so they can get a quick turnaround off the ground. So, you know, really extending and then kind of letting your feet slinky up behind you gives you a little bit more, you know, air time, so to speak. Okay. But no, that was beautiful. That was fantastic. And the cool thing, when your hands stay in a nice position, what you'll feel like on a double under, we always say you should hear the rope hit the ground twice,
Yeah.
right? And that keeps some good consistency going. You get that audible cue. On a triple under, what you're going to hear is you're going to hear the first rotation as you leave the ground.
Yeah.
You won't hear the second one. You'll hear the third one as you come down. So typically that's what the pattern will be when you get into a nice rhythm, right? So we'll listen for that too and see how it goes. So let's try that again. And again, nothing to correct. Let's just see if we can get consistency. Let's do one triple under. Yo, that was good. What'd you feel like though?
I felt like I kind of landed more mid-foot heel, almost like I was kind of like a pogo stick and like just dropping down versus like being able to be kind of like small, like a mini squat, so then I could go into the next one.
Sure.
So I kinda froze and then just dropped.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, you showed me that you could get back to full extension, right, before you get to the next rebound, but obviously it was a planned stop.
Yeah.
So the only thing I did see was just your hands starting to pull back a little. So look, get in that position, and let's show what we're talking about, is that what we see is when we're in this rotation position, we want to pretend we got a barbell right across our hip crease, and we want all rotations to happen in this location, right? And anytime you move away from your hip crease, you're going to be changing where that rope passes down under your toes, and that's what we're trying to isolate and keep consistent. So what's really common is you'll see people go 1 rotation, 2 rotations, 3, and they finish out behind them,
Okay.
right? And when that happens, 2 things. On the 3rd rotation, you're pulling the rope into your toes. If you do happen to clear that, now what happens is the rope's going to circle around and start heading back forward, and you're going to try and pull your hands back into position. And when your hand and the rope are moving the same direction, that's when you lose tension and you lose the rope.
Okay.
It'll feel like the rope disappeared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's
So,
not slack or anything.
right. So what's better to do is just really try and focus on keeping your hand pinned right outside your hip crease, and just your hand's going to rotate circular, but feel kind of the weight of your handle, and just you can even count yourself 1, 2, 3, and those are your rotations. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and just get that rhythm, because it's really just kind of a rhythm thing and not building up too much tension. Right? It's so easy to build up tension. So let's try that. Let's try 1 triple again, and let's see what that feels like. That's all right. Yeah. Thought about the hands, forgot about the up,
Yeah,
right?
I felt like I was trying to focus here.
Totally.
I didn't rebound as much.
Yeah. Good catch.
Oh.
Okay. That was so good. Let's just do another one. That one was really good.
Yeah, that
that was
felt better.
super smooth. Yeah.
And I think like we talked about before, like if I drop my head, I feel like I'm changing my position for double unders, how I usually do them up. But if I keep my head up and I look with my eyes here,
Yeah.
even though I'm not having to look down, I can still see them peripheral, but if they go back here, I won't be able to see them.
That, you know what, that's amazing observation, right, to hear that, because we do have two patterns that we'll go for. So when you're set up to jump, we'll ask people, depending on what they're doing, if their bound's not going up, we'll tell them to look out and find, without adjusting their head, just with their eyes, find a tall target, like maybe the top of a door jamb or a banner on the wall, and try and rebound and get your eyes to rise above that, right, just to help people get that lift. So that's one aspect, but then if some people have a problem keeping their hands isolated, we'll want them to look down with their eyes at about a 45, try not to tip the head too much, and try and spot your hands with your peripheral just so that you can try and keep them in place. So yeah, you got a couple different tools you could try and use, depending on what your need is, right?
Yeah.
So you've already jumped the gun, but I think it's time for 2 triple unders. Wait. Did you see that? 2 triple unders. I meant that's a triple, but just do 2 of them. Okay, let's see that. Okay, remember, make your second triple under higher than your first one. Okay. That's your goal.
Okay. Oh, I lost the tension of the rope.
That's okay. All right. That was better. You're almost there, yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, that's all right. Relax a second. Yeah, so let's get back to focusing on the bound for the first triple. We got to get the first one under our belt and not let our hands get too erratic, right? That's where we're losing it. Yep, just a little bit of hand movement. And good. And plan stop. No, that was great. Yeah, it's way better. Yeah, and see, you even had a little bit of a light, knee tuck.
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all, as long as you get back to extension, right?
Okay.
Yeah, those were good. So you can feel that, right? You can feel where you're building up tension, and it just starts to pull your hands out of position, right? And what did it feel like? What did it feel like to you?
I just think it's spot on. Like as soon as my hands start to come back, like I can feel like the weightlessness of the rope. So it's like I know that by the time I get back in front, like I'm gonna step on it, or it's gonna hit my toes, or I'm not gonna jump over
Right.
it, or it's gonna hit in front. So if I can keep that hand position, it allows me to make sure that I still have tension on the rope, but then I can go into the next one.
Yep.
And that's what I felt like. And I think I think I'm trying to stay a little more rigid and more upright so I can bound into the floor. But if I allow myself to be okay with like, hey, like have a little bit of knee bend versus like, oh, it's just like black and white, can't do it. If I allow, a little bit of knee bend, I might be able to get like a third one.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that was fantastic. I really like, I mean, you have such a good foundation of what's happening and a great understanding of when you lose it and how to correct it. Like, that's huge to me. So let's use the air mat. The air mat's a great tool that is going to help, kind of preserve your joints from the impact. Triple unders, you can't practice too many of them. It's just a lot of bounding, right? You want to be cognizant of that. But not only protecting your joints, this is going to give you a little bit more lift, right, to help you get airborne, really just to work on timing, because a lot of it, I mean, there's a certain amount of athleticism for sure, but timing trumps all. Okay. If you've got great timing, you don't need to jump as high, you don't need to spin as fast, right? Yeah. So let's push this over that way a little bit, and then we'll get you right there on the line. So if you need to warm up a little and kind of get used to the bounce, you can just do some easy doubles if you like. Yeah, those look great. Awesome. So now, we already know we can do 2 doubles. Well, let's stick with that. Let's just go with, or excuse me, triples. Yeah, let's go for 2 triples and really focus on that positioning. You know what, I like that. I really like that a lot because you like, even though you failed, you showed that you were trying to ease up your rope and keep it under control and not be so tense. You know what I mean? So
I felt like I didn't just stop because I knew I was gonna fail or wasn't gonna make it. I was like, oh, let me see if I can keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. No, do that again. That was fabulous. Okay, now you're just showing off. Now you're just showing off. That was fabulous. No, that felt relaxed, huh? Yeah, that 100%. Felt really good.
And I can feel like it wants to, like the rope kind of wants to be pulled back, but I was like trying to fight to stay forward.
Yeah.
Because I know if I go here, then I won't be able to continue. So
yeah, absolutely. So what I like, especially because you're rebounding so high and getting so much height away from the ground, is that I'm okay. In fact, I'd almost prefer a little more up and down motion, right? Okay. Thinking of an up and down rather than a front to back. Okay. Right? I just feel like you can control it more and you help accelerate the rope downward with a little more of an up and down motion. Yeah, and I think you'll do better, without losing it. So, okay. Yeah, well, we might as well just go for PRs. I'm going to say the same thing. Just go for 2 triples and let's see what happens. No, you know what?
I almost lost it, but I was able to pull it back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was going to point out, is that I saw, like, first one was really good. The 2 in the middle, your hands were starting to drift back, and then I saw you correct it. Yeah, that was huge, right? So that, awesome. Yeah, you're self-correcting.
I think the biggest thing you said is awareness, like being able to recognize it, and then, okay, how do I correct it? Just like if I'm trying to sit down into a squat, like I can feel myself pushing my knees out to create tension in the hips. Just like I'm keeping my hands close, I can feel them moving back and forth. And that if I was able to stay closer here, but then just finding the ability to correct it so that it's like, all right, it's not just like max effort triple.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to end it there because that was beautiful. And what I just want to re-emphasize, what was really great about this session, is that you weren't just going for wins, going for reps, right? Yeah. You were going for specific technique cues that you were trying to correct, right? So like you knew what the order of process was. Is like, okay, I need to accomplish this. I need to make sure I get a good bound. I need to accomplish this, meaning I need to make sure my hands stay in a good position, right? Yeah. I need to accomplish this, meaning I need to, try and ease up a little bit and feel the tension. And those were just your basic things that you were focusing on, rather than just like, I made a triple, regardless of what it looked like or felt like. It's just like, I made it, yay, right? Yeah, that's the thing we're trying to get away from. We really want to focus on, building a good foundation so that adding the 4th one and the 5th one, the 6th one, will be a lot easier. Yeah. And then once you build in that muscle memory, moving it from the mat to the floor is seamless. It usually is seamless. Yeah, should we prove it? Why don't we try it? Let's finish on the floor. We'll give it a couple of attempts. Hopefully you're not too tired from all the activities at camp this week.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, so think up, right? You got to get up. That was a nice rebound. Yeah, nice. Nope, those are looking good.
I feel like I have a little bit of a tuck. I feel like I'm trying to anticipate it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just rise. Up, up, up. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I'll
Great
take that.
job. Great
That's what's up
job.
for the wins. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I appreciate
Thank
that. That
you.
was
Thanks
so
for.
helpful, and I feel that going into it, I'll be able to be more confident. Like not only practicing the air mount, but like being comfortable in my jumping and practicing single, double, triple.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can't wait because I think in a month you're going to send me a video where you're just knocking out like 30, 50 in a row.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm excited.
Great,
Thank you so much.
Great
Appreciate
work.
it. That was awesome.
Thanks, Margot. Appreciate it.